So welcome everyone to the QSMP elections 2023. This is going to be an important event that anyone can join in. I do have to preface this with keep in mind this is only done for entertainment purposes. So keep that in mind. However, let me explain to you what an election means. QSMP is essentially, after monitoring all players for 2 months, we believe it's time to give power to the people. So what does this mean? What does this imply? I will explain to you right now. The selection of upcoming authority. Sorry, I'm going to move myself. The selection of upcoming authority. The Federation has determined the citizens of Quackity Island are ready to elect their president. And every resident of the island who joins, who is in QSMP, holds the right to run for president. Okay? Yeah, we got it. Are we? Do we understand? Is it good? Okay, perfect. What does this imply? So we want to give players a way to have an incentive of actually making decisions that are important in QSMP, which is a very, very fun part of this experiment as a whole. The new president, among other things, can propose new rules in the server, can propose the addition of mods, can propose the removal of mods, can propose public works for the community, can propose force of law in situations, and they are able to add one new member to the QSMP. Of course, all these implications will be talked about in private, but yeah. Yeah. So if someone runs for president and they win, all these implications are going to be part of, you know, the position of power. Not everyone has to run, of course. It's only people who are interested in running and getting votes and whatnot. These are some of the big ones. There's also other things involved, but they are these are some of the benefits of power within the server. So the voting, we want to essentially split it in a very just manner. Of course, QSMP residents are very important to the voting process, which is why they get 50% of the votes. The community voting is also very important. We're going to let the community hold a 35% of the vote, and then leaderboard points, which we will get to in a second. First things first is the QSMP residents. Every QSMP resident has the right to 2 votes. Every person on the QSMP has a right to 2 votes each. They can either put those 2 votes to one player or split these votes into 2. So they're allowed to, you know, if let's say creator, I want to vote for creator A, I want to give him my vote, but I also want to give creator B my vote, I can split my vote and give 1 to each, or I can just give creator A 2 of my votes, which is a very important part of the process. Can the eggs vote? No, because the eggs aren't old enough to vote. The eggs are not old enough to vote. So this would only include the QSMP creators. Next up is community voting. So the community, aka you guys, will also have the 35% of all votes. So you guys are also going to be able to get votes and you know, place your votes. Voting days will be announced very soon. Voting days will be announced eventually, and we will tell you guys when voting days are. But we'll give you guys a public poll where you guys can vote for whoever you would like to vote for. We are going to explain this this distribution of votes in the document. It's all available in the document. Everything, this is all summarized because all the information is in the document right here. Explains it in more detail, which we will make available in PDF form as soon as most creators get their manual. This is the election manual. In-game leaderboard points are very important because a good leader holds a lot of different qualities. First, we have defense quality. The defense quality is the creator who's taken the most damage in-game. So whoever gets the most damage in-game gets 2.5% of the in-game votings. Community means longest time playing on the server. The representative and the candidate who gets the community trait is because they've spent the longest time playing on the server. Longest distance travel, aka walk, sprint, swim, that helps for communication. The candidate needs to communicate around the island, know their way around the island, so that will give them votes too. Wealth is reserved for a politician who keeps a nation wealthy, aka a politician who mines the most diamonds, which is an important part of the process as well. Security is the people who kill the most mobs. A good politician, of course, needs to keep the nation safe. And diplomacy, which is a good politician is a good diplomat. The politician that has the most villager trades. So this will incentivize the candidates to do more for their community, the Quesadilla Island community, and they will be receiving votes for this at the very end, which will be tallied and which will be counting for the politician who is running for president. Next up is, like I said, each leaderboard point counts for 2.5% of the total vote. The 6 of them together sum to 15%. And these points will be proportionally distributed to candidates as a percentage of the vote, which is a very important part of it. This is so exciting. I'm so excited, by the way. I'm so fucking excited. Is anyone as excited as I am? This is so fucking cool. I'm so excited. I'm sorry. Voting is a private right. So this is where things get interesting. Voting is a private right. No one's allowed to incentivize you to forcefully vote for anyone. So creators are meant to keep their finalized vote private. This is a very important part because creators, we won't know the actual results of the election until the very final day. So I can say that I'm going to vote for creator A. I could be lying. We don't know that. But keep in mind that on the day of the results, all votings are going to be made public. And the politicians and people who ran for candidates to presidents will find out who told them the truth and who didn't. So keep that in mind. The electoral process is a very important one. What does a politician do? What does someone who runs for president do, essentially? I will tell you. I will very much tell you. So, submitting the candidacy requests, all creators who want to run for president of QSMP must file in a form which contains their name, in-game name, country of birth, languages spoken, past work experience, a short paragraph on what makes them a good candidate for presidency, a short paragraph on what is something they love about Quesadilla Island, and a short paragraph on something they would change about Quesadilla Island. This information is very, very important. The inauguration of campaign is very important. If the candidate is accepted for his campaign, accepted candidates must fulfill obligatory, how do you say that? How do you say that word? Obligatory campaign requirements. Failure to adequately fulfill these during campaign will result in prompt disqualification. Votes will be rendered null for candidates that are disqualified, which we're going to talk about, which is another very interesting part of this entire process is the disqualification, but we'll get to that in a second. The campaign requirements are the following. It's really easy. Campaign materials and campaign inauguration day. What does campaign materials means? It means the following. So campaigns, of course, it's kind of like marketing, right? The politicians need to make themselves known, which I like to think that there is going to be one or another person that's going to surprise us with their candidacy. What this means, essentially, is that someone who we wouldn't imagine running for president may run. And, at the end of the day, what's going to be important is who wins in the end. Campaign inauguration day is very simple. From June 17th to June 23rd, all the candidates who had their submissions accepted will go ahead and inaugurate their campaign with a big speech, and they are allowed to start campaigning. What does campaigning mean? Campaigning essentially means your campaign strategy and get votes. At the end of the day, that's the most important part, is to get people on your side and get votes. We will be having debate nights with the creators. We'll be having 3 debate nights. These are semi-final. We'd like to finalize these dates. So June 23rd is going to be the first debate night. June 26th is going to be the second debate night. And July 5th is going to be the final debate night. These debates are going to be really important for everyone to see different perspectives of different candidates and see what their proposals are for the server. Remember, the candidates are going to be very, very important for this process because they are allowed to propose new rules, remove or add mods, and essentially, maybe potentially, add another person to the SMP, which is going to be really interesting. Candidates, as soon as they run for president, this is a part that can get spicy. They have 2 provisional lives. From the moment they are accepted for candidate to the day of the results of the election, they have 2 provisional lives. And one of the manners of disqualification can be assassination. From June 12th, which is today, which they can submit today, till July 7th, was the very last day, candidates have 2 provisional lives. If they die or they are assassinated, they get disqualified from the race to president. Another form of disqualification can be failure to show up to at least one debate. Debates are very important. So as long as you show up to at least one debate, you are eligible to not be disqualified. Failure to fulfill campaign requirements, the logo and the materials can lead to disqualification, and any decision made by the Federation to disqualify candidates is a very important part. Subject, election night. Election night will be on July 8th. Election night is going to be a very, very big event because we're going to finally find out which person, which creator of the QSMP is going to be the very next president. An important part is we're not going to allow fraud. You know, there's not going to be any unforeseen plot twists. This is going to be a very natural process, a very real process as well. So keep that in mind. This is going to be a very, very real process. No fraud, no tampering with the votes. Creators are given this page, and let me show you guys what this means. This secret code is unique to you. Do not share. This vote will be requested on the day of voting and is your unique identity to vote. This code will show up here. It's going to be stuck here. And like I said, every creator is going to get a unique document with their unique code so that on the very day of voting, their identity stays unique and no one can take their vote. It is very important for creators to keep this specific page very secret. And like I said, all creators are going to be receiving this document and all the different stuff is like stated here. So with like details and all that. So that's very important. This is going to be a very exciting day for the QSMP, is having the new president here. The elected candidate will have the chance to address Quackity Island. And guided by the Federation, the new president will assume the presidency and fulfill their responsibilities. This is going to be very, very interesting. Under the wise and visionary leadership of our president, Quackity Island prepares to enter a new phase of unity, progress, and prosperity, following the fundamental principles of the Constitution. Keep in mind that these elections are not real life. They're not real. They are for entertainment purposes only. So treat this as a light-hearted event. Have fun and be respectful. And actually, there is a message which I was going to let people get to it, but I'm going to read it for you guys. I'm very excited and humbled by all the support QSMP has received since the beginning of its creation. The main objective of the server has always been to promote the unification of communities and very talented creators, and has done so in an incredible way. To see communities and creators share the same passion that I had when bringing this project to life is something I appreciate from the bottom of my heart, so thank you guys. QSMP, just like any engaging piece of media out there, can evoke real and raw emotions, and that is something the team behind all this project is very, very proud of. This following document is a manual for all creators and for an upcoming QSMP elections event. And though the very premise of this concept can easily evoke these passionate and real emotions, I do urge all communities and creators to remember that this whole event is made for entertainment purposes only. Some creators from QSMP, like I said just now, will be participating in a simulated and made-up election process. This is not real life, okay? And whereas I completely understand the love and passion some of you will share towards this next arc in the series, I urge all communities not to express hurtful and external negative emotions towards the creators in QSMP that will be participating in this event, nor towards their communities. Remember, it's a simulation meant for entertainment purposes only. This is not a real life election. And although we do encourage everyone to support their favorite, candidate and QSMP creator during this arc from a viewer standpoint, make sure this is all done in a very lighthearted manner, as this project is meant to provide entertainment only. And that being said, I really hope you guys enjoy this next arc of QSMP. This is going to be so fucking exciting.